Um, well, there's a gentleman I know here from Boulder, Colorado. Oh, that feels so much better. And in Boulder, we were a little more organized. Right, in Boulder, we were a lot more organized. We had Rainbow Family coming through, we had the Deadheads coming through, and we had Juggalos coming through. You better goddamn well be organized. If you know what's coming through your town, you need to know what groups there are and which ones you can go to and who you can talk to. So what's that got to do with tonight, which is what this video is actually about? Well, we didn't need much before it turned into a little piece of home. In Boulder, Colorado, we protected people. That's before all of our heroes were lost, stolen, or missing. The ones that were lost, they went into the bottom of a bottle. They put themselves inside of a needle, and they became the drug. We've got the stolen. These are our heroes in prison or dead. And that's most of them. And then we've got the missing. You don't know where they went. We hear rumors sometimes, but you don't know what's true and what ain't. People hear shit all the time. I've had people come back from the dead more than once. Not literally. Everybody was told they were dead. Reverend Friendly, I was told she died twice before he actually died. So here's what we did today. There's a young lady who had some issues with setting boundaries. That gentleman from Boulder, there's a young woman named Jamie, and she's going to yell and other people are going to yell at her. That's just going to happen. But also, people need to leave her alone. One of the things I was noticing is that people were walking by and they were walking awful close to where she was sitting, and I wasn't sure if they were saying something or not. So I got a little closer, and yeah, I mean, you don't go by what you know that the lady is absolutely distraught, and then you're gonna walk by her and you're gonna make snide comments. You're just antagonizing the lady. You are psychologically torturing this woman into fucking oblivion. How is she gonna get any sleep? Why does she scream all night, every night? You can't go 40 minutes, 50 minutes if you're lucky. And she's right back to screaming, and you got the tweakers in and out and in and out and in and out incessantly. Now that little piece of Boulder, I went for a walk earlier, and that young woman who was having problems setting boundaries, who decided she was going to set her boundaries, I backed her up and he backed her up. So the whole time I was gone, well, he kept his eyes out and he kept his ears out. He's more couth than I am. So 2 extra points kudos there. He'll maintain a far more level head, well, at least in the current position. I have some trigger issues. You scream at her in front of me and I'm going to have some trigger issues. Really, you scream at all in front of me, I'm going to have some trigger issues, but you don't You don't fuck with people who got head issues. You don't fuck with people that got mental problems, and that young woman doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. So the whole time I was gone, they made sure that nobody fucked with Jamie. She didn't get up and scream at all. Thank you for that little beast Boulder, you know? Not only that, that young woman who set her boundaries, who is allowed to set her boundaries. And they were backed up. I mean, you can set all the boundaries in the world, but if nobody gives a shit, people will walk over those boundaries and walk over you. I'm one of the few mean-ass bitches I know that'll walk right back over the son of a bitch. Anyway, I was happy to see when I got back that, well, you know, you don't want to go to bed at night and you wake up in the middle of the night to somebody touching you and you have to pretend it's okay because you know nobody's going to do anything about it. I mean, even if you yell at them, people tell you to shut the fuck up. That's here. That wouldn't have been in Boulder. In Boulder, it wouldn't have been shut the fuck up. It would have been, all right, you're leaving now, sir. I don't mean in 5 minutes. I don't mean in 2 minutes. I don't mean in 30 fucking seconds. You've got your bags on your back. Start walking. Now, we don't have any enforcers here. What we've got here, the enforcers are drug pushers. So rather than fighting back, we've got the victims having to bow down to a drug hierarchy, whether they want to have anything to do with it or not. And we've got women out here being treated like animals. This would not have been tolerated in Boulder. Now that young man, knowing that he has at least some support, and that young woman, knowing she has at least some support, both of them have already, well, they feel empowered now. That's a good start. If people won't protect us, we'll protect each other. And hopefully we can get that to happen. Hopefully we can get some organizational skills, and hopefully we can get some sober motherfuckers to walk in with us when we need to turn in an actual report. That shit with Jamie did not need to happen today. That shit with her the other day did not need to happen. Now, the lady that was throwing things, there's multiple people that she threw stuff at, and most of it missed by quite a bit, not all of it. While I'm gone, I know that, well, at least one of those two is going to be up and watching like a hawk. And the other one, of course, will hopefully be able to get some shut-eye. Since that young lady and that young man from Boulder are teaming up together and using the buddy system, this is how to properly sin. Safety in numbers. The more the merrier. She is sleeping a space next to him. He's sleeping a space next to her. There is not enough room in between them for someone to, with all of the open spaces around, there's no reason for somebody to try to wedge themselves into that little tiny spot in between those two. Anybody, even a drunk, would know that that's inappropriate, especially this time of year. If it was middle of the winter, it might be understandable. But yeah, now she hopefully has herself a battle buddy. Now I'm gonna try to get people organized as far as, well, we need to be able to find a woman who can drive my car around. That's extremely important. The reason for that is because I don't feel comfortable driving the women around, just because I'm a male. There's just too much bad shit that can happen. There are a few sober women in the area. I don't know any of them well enough to ask them to do such a thing, and I don't know if any of them would want to. I do understand how volatile and how scary drug addicts can be, especially when they're coming down. You think it's scary when they're doing weird stuff in the store? Yeah, when they're doing that stuff, as long as you don't confront them on it, or you try to pretend like it must be something else, well, in that case, they're a lot less likely to be scared of getting in trouble. If they're less likely to get in trouble, then they're more likely to relax. If they relax, well, then they'll also quit moving weird like that. And you give them the oh my god eyes, and that'll freak them out. That'll freak them out so that they move weird a lot worse. People here know that I will record if there is a serious situation where people's lives are potentially at stake. Yeah, I am gonna pull out my goddamn camera and I'm gonna use it. They've all seen me do it 3 or 4 times now. Yep. It's frowned upon. Fine. Frown upon it. It's frowned upon to go talk to the police too. Now, if we had a proper street society here, we wouldn't need the police and we wouldn't need the druggies either. I don't mean the druggies as in the addicts. I mean as in the pushermen. The guys in the white pickup trucks. The guys in the two-tone 80s pickup truck that's got yellow stripes down the side. These people get to dictate it. Now here's one thing that I am totally down with, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why first, because of preservation of human lives. And now I'll explain the rest of it to you. These pushers who are pushing these drugs, the folks that they're giving it to, yeah, they're going to kill themselves on them. But it's their body and their choice. And the more we tell them they can't, the more they're gonna. If we can... God, I don't even want to say this because it's a terrible idea. But if we could provide these people with a safe place where they're not going to be victimized, where they're not going to be raped, where they're not going to be murdered, a place where these addicts can go and be supervised. I don't mean a drunk tank. We had boho in Colorado, and if you were drunk, you were still allowed there. It's not like a homeless shelter where you have to be sober. We had people come to the warming centers that were messed up on all sorts of stuff. Most of them just wanted to go to sleep or have a warm place to stay for the night, and that was it. They were asking if it was cold in Boulder, Colorado. So this other gentleman, he spoke about our friends. I have to say it like that. I can't keep saying the homeless. These were our friends. In Boulder, Colorado, we knew that the drugs were happening. We knew what was going on. Everybody does. You can't stop that. But what you can stop is the human lives that are lost due to prohibition. You know they're gonna do it. You know they're gonna go find it. And they know that when they're honest with you, by this point, obviously, they know if they're honest with you that you're gonna shame them. You're not gonna understand or try to understand. When these people come to you about their drug use, and that's what you want to see. That's when you become the most evil person to them. Is when you wanna. Sorry. Dominoes. I do want to state that despite the fact that Joseph Michael Lopez worked for Domino's when he shot Natalie in the head, I'm not one of those crazy people who thinks that every person who works at Domino's is now an evil person. But there's the fact that it does trigger me as far as seeing it. It makes me want to go crawl in a ball. One of my therapists said that when I feel like that, I should talk to Natalie. I think that's weird, just so you know. But I try what people suggest. They got all sorts of suggestions. This building is a piece of work. Anyway, I know that that last little bit about Domino's might not make sense, but the Domino's guy pulled up right next to me, and but then I looked up and I realized that oh, I'm talking to my phone, I'm sorry. I realized that he was just parking there because there's a Domino's right in front of me, and I didn't see it. But, that's one of the risks of getting all up in your feels. When you've been through some real traumatic shit, and you need to be loved to recover, and people don't get that. And I see these people, of course, with their families, and I hear how they treat me, and it is different. There's going to be a lot of people who are mad at me, of course. Some of these people don't quite get that I'm not just going to let things happen. Jamie doesn't really ever want that property because that property is as close as she's got to safety. Does that sound crazy? But you guys also don't take into account what some of these people will do to her if they catch her by herself. Anything they're willing to do in that camp, they're willing to do 10 times worse when there's nobody there to hear her story. Pretend this shit doesn't happen. So that guy who's inappropriately touching a young woman there, hopefully she's able to be empowered to set boundaries. Tonight she did a very good job. She did not want to be touched. She didn't quite understand. No is literally the words she needs to use as a homeless woman. No. Now when she says no, yeah, then you need to take your nasty cock beaters off of her, sir. Although she did seem kind of confused about why I was just standing there talking as calmly as possible, but the words that were coming out of my mouth were pretty goddamn specific. There's things you can do and there's things you can't do. There's things that are a gray area and there's things that aren't.
What's up, man?
Bonjour.
Hey.
Y'all be safe. So, hopefully we can get something decent going as far as people doing the drugs that they're doing. I'm not going to try to stop that. That's the thing, is that they're going to find somewhere to do it. If they have a place to do it where if they leave something laying around, I can pick it up and dispose of it. I would much rather have that than find it in the alley across the street, like I did tonight. We know they're going to use. We know that there's predators. We also know that if we allow the pushers to have the hierarchy out here on the streets, we can expect that young woman will be passed around like a concert flyer. I don't necessarily mean her in specific. I mean all of them out here are at that risk. Most of them have been victimized to the point where either they're very angry or they're broken like Jamie, or they become subservient because they're not allowed to stick up for themselves or speak up for themselves. They've learned they're not allowed to say no. You can hint real heavy that you're not interested, but if you say actual no, then people get angry and pushers and let them know, hey, this is a place for homeless people, not for pushers. Yes, we know we have addicts here, but you do not get to decide right or wrong here. You do not get to decide who gets to leave and who doesn't. Pushers do not get to make that decision anymore. Without coordination, we can't do that. we as the homeless, including the addicts, we have to work together and find a solution. It can be done. It has been done many times in the past in many communities. From downtown Houston, Texas, to Hayton Ashbury, Boulder, Colorado. There are safe havens all over the United States, or rather there used to be. There was once a town called Ithaca over on the East Coast. It's supposed to be the same thing. Like a hawk, if you stay ever vigilant, there may not be much that you can do, but if you're there when something goes down, you are the first responder. Now, I'm not going to encourage any of these people to play superhero solo or to meddle in a way that'll get them stabbed or shot, but also anytime you choose to stand up for another human being or for yourself, you run that risk. The more the merrier. If we work together, we can protect each other. I do know that the young woman there, she's been nice to me. The people that I have seen and heard her get mean with, I didn't feel that she was in the wrong in any way, shape, or form. I do understand that some people are addicted to substances, but that doesn't make them wrong. If there's two people who are addicted to substances, which one is wrong? When I say no means no, I mean no means no, but you have to say no. Out here on the streets especially, because people will argue the point. They'll say, oh, well, she kind of looked like she enjoyed it, or, well, you guys know the excuses. What I saw earlier today at that homeless camp, I don't remember the last time I saw something so gross. Seeing a woman punched in the back of the head by somebody holding a burrito. And nobody said a goddamn thing except for me. I'm half that dude's size and I'm gimpy as fuck. What the hell are all those grown-ass men doing? And of course, found some marijuanas here. What do we do with these? Do I support the smoking of those? I actually do. We're going to go throw it in the garbage can so that somebody's kid don't grab a hold of it in the morning. For me to hear that women have been raped and beaten multiple times around that building is horrible. And before you guys try blaming the facility, don't understand that that is actually more safety for those women than they have elsewhere. When you have no support, you learn to let them. I know this from experience. You just have to let them do whatever they want to you. Over and 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 over. There's also some people out here with their relatives. You know how tough it is? I don't know how tough it is to be stuck on the streets with my son, who is incredibly drunk, touching women inappropriately, and these women they're not interested, but he's not stopping. He's also disrespectful to his mother in an incredibly horrible way. Well, that young woman said no. That's where the line was drawn, and that's where that man who remembers Boulder decided that he was going to do the Boulder thing, that he was going to do the Haight Ashbury thing. And he was going to protect her. Now, if she was sober or if she was on drugs, doesn't make any difference. She deserves to be protected, and so does he, and so does everybody else there, including Jamie. I get that she drives people fucking nuts. I so get that she drives people nuts. I mean, tonight I made a special trip just so that I can give her cigarettes. So that I can make sure that she had at least a half of a cigarette. Went around and collected